who actually read the paper. Right.
Right, and who actually subscribe to it. Okay, and so I think when Trump decides to bring Clinton and says to Hillary, hey, don't start calling me an abuser of women. And I was reminded again by O'Brien today that CNN ran recently a great documentary called The Hunting Ground.
He is not tied. The Pope is the number one admired man, and Donald Trump is second. And then Obama comes like fourth. They're lying their ass off because they just said it earlier that they couldn't believe that Donald Trump was admired the second most admired man in America.
Including my nieces learned about Hillary Clinton's, and they are all.
But we know about this motherfucking black bastard right here that he's a fucking snake conniving New World Order sellout for Hillary Clinton.
Do you really think that? I mean,
yes, but my next segment, Hugh, is.
Look how he overtalks people.
I would like to stick with the Republicans in this one, okay?
Okay, but one last question. Do you really think your nieces know who Juanita Broaddrick is? Or
I don't know if they know who Juanita Broaddrick is, but they know.
But they have Google.
What happened with Bill Clinton in the
and all those people's names, all those ladies,
they think it's
Google search their names.
Look, they're not actually big supporters of Hillary Clinton either, but they understand the history of it. But anyway, I want to talk more.
My point is the difference is consensual versus non-consensual, and this generation.
And it was non-consensual.
Is much different than 20 years ago. Go ahead.
I think that's different than a talking point. I think
no, it's not different. Shut the fuck up, you lying black son of a bitch. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking over you now. Fuck what Ted Cruz, nigga. Fuck what you talk about. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, talk over you.
I think actually Ted Cruz, I've been saying this for months, is the only one who could run the board. He can win Iowa. He can come in second in New Hampshire. He can win South Carolina. He could win Nevada. Now, there's also a different scenario where you've got Marco Rubio winning in Nevada and someone other, maybe Donald Trump winning in South Carolina and Chris Christie winning in New Hampshire, which means the March primaries become the second phase of a campaign. So it could go in one of two very massive directions. The only one that can run away with the race is Ted Cruz, because he has got a firewall built on March 1. In Oklahoma, he's going to win. He's going to win in Texas. Mike Huckabee, if he's still in the race, and Mike Huckabee told me on the air, he's dropping out if he doesn't finish 1, 2, or 3 in Iowa. Right now, I don't think he's going to finish 1, 2, or 3 in Iowa. Things change quickly in Iowa. You know that. I know that. But you could see Ted Cruz actually winning 4 or 5 states on March 1, which will make him a prohibitive front runner. Not a favorite for the nomination, but he's the only one that can get to that status between now and March 1. The only one.
Thank you, sir. Guess what I'm going to talk about next?
Always a pleasure.
Guess what I'm talking about next? We come right back. How Donald Trump is rewriting the rules of the campaign and why he says taking shots at Bill Clinton is fair game. We'll be right back.
Tripled him. A disaster. Joining us now with reaction are Fox News contributors Doug Schoen and Tammy Bruce. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Hi there.
Sure.
Doug, let's focus in on...
Guys, these recordings are all back to back. All I'm doing is just pausing it, changing the channel, record. When they go to commercial, pause it, change the channel.
Still win Iowa and New Hampshire, which potentially would be quite damaging to Hillary, I would think.
Precisely, Rich, and that is Hillary's worst fear. What Bernie is doing in this interview is trying to win independents in New Hampshire, who are a key voting bloc and can vote in either the Republican or Democratic primary. Bernie is, I guess, within 10 or 15 points in Iowa, some polls single digits. But Hillary didn't do so well there in 2008, and there's a real fear she'll underperform. If she underperforms and Bernie is very close or wins Iowa, and then Bernie wins New Hampshire overwhelmingly, that, as you suggest, Rich, could put the campaign in a tailspin. I think ultimately she will be the nominee, but she wants to avoid that problem.
So, Doug, just to spin this out a little bit, if Bernie loses in Iowa and basically the Democratic race is over going into New Hampshire, is that very good for Donald Trump because he will presumably soak up those independents who might not be interested in the Democratic race at that point?
Yes.
I think that's absolutely right. And if you
Thank
factor
you.
In that Donald
Let my
has at least
subscribers
a
know how
50%
fucking smart I
chance of
am.
losing Iowa himself or more, he's going to need as many independents as he can get in New Hampshire. So anything that strengthens his hand in a state that'll be must win for him New Hampshire will be critically important and beneficial.
So, Tammy, something that I've been struck by in the recent polls is Donald Trump performs more poorly than other Republicans against Hillary Clinton, but not that badly. You know, 2 points behind and one
within the margin of error,
which just seems an amazing statement of Hillary Clinton's weakness.
Well, see, that's it. I mean, you're looking at not necessarily Trump's strength, but her weakness. And I have to say that when it comes to the independents, they too are worrying more about terrorism. It's not about the economy. So it's it's a smart thing. It's kind of a Hail Mary pass for Bernie Sanders. But when you're looking at what independents care about, and Republicans and Democrats, national security, terrorism at the top. So the Republican will win. Clearly, Donald Trump is seen as stronger on that. Bernie Sanders didn't even want to have to deal with that at the debate. He didn't want that even to be a subject. So he knows his weakness. But this argument now isn't going to caring about the minimum wage. People are seeing what's happening. Obviously, we're going to have more terror issues before the election, perhaps even before the caucus and before the primary. So Donald Trump, I think, just needs to be himself. He's clearly not running against anybody else.
Doesn't seem to have a problem doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. He's not. Everyone else. And look, Bernie also wants to be in headlines with Trump, right?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Trump is just running with himself. Everyone else seems to be
Thank you. He's running by himself.
With Trump.
Yes, as you try to follow Trump, you will crumble. Because you change your ways from what we know, this generation of millennials. We know what the fuck you bastards are up to, and that's why Trump is going to win.
Right, and so far it hasn't worked out with anyone really having a fight with Donald Trump.
It looks like weakness. Again, it's not because Donald Trump, the onus isn't on Trump. It's about the weakness that seems to exude by the individuals doing this.
So, Doug,
listen to what I just said.
Close to Hillary in some of these general election matchups. Is this just my hopefulness talking when I say Hillary looks incredibly weak? I mean, her numbers on honesty and trustworthy comparable to Donald Trump. Her favorable, unfavorable, comparable to Donald Trump. This guy has been a complete bull in the china shop.
Yeah, I've looked at the numbers in some detail. Hillary is quite strong with Democrats. And she's going to stay strong with Democrats. But with independents and Republicans...
And with millennials, she's going to fall off because she can't change her ways. She can't separate herself from Obama, Benghazi, Fast and the Furious, her husband's sick, perverted ass ways that I seen coming up and didn't have a platform to speak, but now I do. So look up the Clinton Chronicles, guys. It was a film or documentary made in the 90s about Bill Clinton's and Hillary Clinton's scandalous serial sex ways. Yeah, serial sex ways.
We're almost out of time. What odds would you give Trump winning the nomination at this juncture?
And you'll get to see the Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton death list. People that was working with the administration, working for Bill Clinton and Hillary that have died, guys. It's so fucking creepy. So look up the Clinton Chronicles.
The entire race could change. He's got an organization in the South that is under-recognized.
I agree.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. It'll be fascinating to watch.
Thank you.
All right, move on to the next channel.
Say they've retaken control of Ramadi's government's
card on me. She is wrong. So is it all about playing to the base? Is that the strategy here?
I don't think that Donald Trump has a strategy.
All right, next channel.
I mean, there's no evidence that he.
Blunt is still big.
He thinks that he's going to go after Bill Clinton for the extramarital stuff, not the separate, the more abusive things, but the ones that were consensual. We have to remember that Donald Trump kept the tabloids, alive, tabloid newspapers alive through several of his marriages and divorces and all of that. So he's probably not the best one to be.
But no scandals, though. No scandals.
He also has a lot of history and a lot of quotes and, speeches where he's complimented Bill Clinton, where he's dismissed the fact that those issues were relevant. He himself said he doesn't think those issues were relevant.
Let's play it right now. Let's listen to that.
But listen, even though when they play this, they're still trying to cover up the actual fact of what happened in the Bill Clinton administration. The moderators are not telling you guys. They're only hinting to the fact because they don't want the full truth to come out.
Got us into this horrible war with lies, by lying, by saying they had weapons of mass destruction, by saying all sorts of things that turned out not to be true.
He's saying that Nancy Pelosi had the opportunity to get George Bush and did not do it. So that's the context of that quote. But Dylan, he didn't bring up Clinton tonight, despite going after the Clintons on Twitter. We've seen this before. He'll bring something up, a new line of attack, and then, he'll sort of leave it hanging. Why keep going with it?
Well, I think that's right, and I think part of the reason for that, Don, is that he has many lines of attack he's working on tonight in New Hampshire. Of course, he's going against Chris Christie and the New Hampshire Union leader while he's there. One point I would disagree with Sherry on is I do think Trump is very strategic in his tweets. I think he knows when he's throwing red meat to his base. I think he knows when he's trolling Hillary Clinton, when he's trolling the left, when he's trolling the establishment. I think this was very targeted both as a means to go after Bill Clinton early, because Bill Clinton is going to be more of a force on the campaign, and sort of to get under Hillary Clinton's skin a little bit. And, going back to what Trump said in 2008, I just point out, it sort of seems to me that the media should have picked up on something in August, and it hasn't picked up on it yet, which is it doesn't matter what sort of quotes you can pull out from what Trump has said from years past. He's above that. That doesn't, that sort of hypocrisy, accusing him of hypocrisy, that doesn't.
Thank you, my man. You deserve to hit this.
You looked at all of the media coverage of Trump over the past.
Oh, you want to hit it? You want to hit it? You want to hit it? I don't think so. Especially not you, motherfucking bastard.
This two-step dance that he does with the media. Explain to us what you mean by that.
Sure. Well, often we'll see headlines that say Donald Trump dominated the media or dominated the debate.
On July 14,
he dominates the media in more than one way. It's not just that he gets more coverage than the other candidate. He is able to redefine the terms of the debate. He's able to totally upend every pundit's expectations for that last thing he said is going to ruin him. Well, guess what? It didn't ruin him. This happens time and time again. And he does it all sort of sticking his finger in the media's eye on them just on his
refused to allow any of this documentation to be admitted. In addition, eyewitnesses willing to testify under oath who could confirm Clinton's involvement in the Arkansas drug smuggling money laundering operation were flown into Washington, but were barred from giving any testimony. Once again, the Constitution of the United States was undermined, and the American people were not allowed access to the truth. That same day, a massive media smear campaign was launched against the Clinton Chronicles. Time Magazine, Newsweek, U.S. News and World Report, and major newspapers around the nation simultaneously published false information about the video in an attempt to diminish its distribution. Nevertheless, members of Congress point to the Clinton Chronicles as playing a major role in bringing about the firing of Robert Fisk, as well as the reopening of the investigation into the death of Vince Foster. On August 3, 1994, Larry Nichols was arrested on false charges of writing 2 bad checks and failing to obey a yield sign 7 years earlier. The American media reported the arrest. When the Arkansas police admitted that the checks and traffic violations were fabricated, charges were dropped. Yet the media failed to report it. Nichols has suffered 3 attempts on his life since the release of the video. Federal agent Bill Duncan, 15-year IRS veteran with a permit to carry a gun, was arrested for carrying a weapon, then handcuffed to a pipe in the basement of the Washington, D.C. police station, and later released. This incident effectively brought the MENA drug smuggling money laundering investigation to a halt. Duncan was later instructed by his superiors to lie to a federal grand jury regarding the results of his investigation. When he refused, he was forced to resign.
This is what they don't want you to know.
Investigator Russell Welch nearly died after being poisoned with military-grade anthrax, a poison available only through the United States government. Arkansas State Police investigator Dr. Lauder, who successfully led the investigation against cocaine distributor Dan Lassiter, was forced to resign after attempting to reopen the cocaine trafficking investigation into Don Tyson. John Brown, Saline County homicide detective in charge of the Ives Henry murder investigation, was removed from the case after providing Congress with information linking the Clinton administration to drug trafficking in Mena, Arkansas. Brown was forbidden by his superiors to discuss Clinton's connection to the Ives Henry case, and after his refusal to do so, was forced to resign. In February 1994, veteran journalist L.J. Davis was beaten in his Little Rock hotel room. His attacker tore pages from his notebook which contained information
you see the
about
one-eye symbolism?
Rose Law Firm and the Arkansas Development Finance Authority. In March 1985, Wayne Dumont was castrated and subsequently imprisoned for allegedly raping Bill Clinton's 17-year-old cousin. Even after evidence had proven that Dumont had been falsely accused and was completely innocent, Clinton blocked his release from prison. To date, every case which would link Bill Clinton with any criminal activities have been effectively shut down by various governmental agencies.
The one office that all of us universally look up to, irrespective of what party or political philosophy we espouse, is the presidency of the United States. Since the election of Bill Clinton in 1992, we Americans, with sadness, have learned week after week to have different stories come out from around the country pointing up the reality that we have in the White House today, a draft-dodging womanizer who is a pathological liar. It's a very dangerous thing for America and a dangerous thing for the world. I can only, conclude that the responsible course for the House of Representatives to do is to introduce a resolution of impeachment against Bill Clinton. It is with sadness that I make this statement, because this action will introduce something that we Americans don't want to see in our political process. But we can't continue down the course of what we see unfolding before our eyes almost every week or almost every day. And the best thing for all of us is to get it out in the open and go forward and let the chips fall where they may. Under our Constitution, the House introduces a resolution of impeachment, and the U.S. Senate is a place where a trial takes place. And I think for the good of the country, for the good of the peace and tranquility of the Western world, this is the course that Congress should take.
This is what Donald Trump wants to tell you guys, and this is what he wants you to hint to. Bernie Sanders wants you guys to see this. And guys, just watch the Clinton Chronicles so you can see the whole film. That was just what they want to tell you. The man got impeached for sexual misconduct on Michael Lewinsky, but he was going to get impeached on Whitewater. So guys, he was totally corrupt in the first place. Either or, he had the red pill or the blue pill. Either or, his judgment was impeachment. That's why I say we can't have 30 years of Bush and Clinton dynasty. There's no fucking way in hell. That's just sick. So let's end it like this. Fuck are you, Clinton, the fucker boy.